They dazzled on screen, but behind the glamour, secrets swirled. Sultry starlets to debonair leading men, Hollywood royals hid forbidden truths. Marilyn's double life, James Dean's complex charm. The shocking truth alters your view of 15 Golden Age icons forever. Dare to peek behind the curtain? Number 15, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando possessed legendary acting skills, as well as an intriguing romantic life full of hushed rumors. Though married 3 times, gossip linked him with lovers of all persuasions. When interviewed in 1976, Brando openly confessed to homosexual experiences, boldly stating, "Like many men, I have had homosexual experiences myself, and I am not ashamed." Whispers through Hollywood suggest he and comedian Richard Pryor shared an intimate bond. Musician Quincy Jones proclaimed Brando and Pryor were lovers, an allegation Pryor's widow later confirmed as truth. Rumors also hint at the domineering, yet tender, sadomasochistic affair between Brando and actor James Dean, though Dean was said to feel more emotional dependence. Beyond Tinseltown, writer James Baldwin may have stolen Brando's heart. Jones alleged Baldwin slept with Brandon too, though the closeness of the relationship remains ambiguous. Brando said with what seems like romantic longing, "I walked and sat and dreamed next to a man named James Baldwin." Finally, Darwin Porter's tell-all biography, Brando Unzipped, loosely links him to brief trysts with Cary Grant and Montgomery Clift. However, Porter has a reputation for embellishing old Hollywood secret same-sex relationships. Number 14, James Dean. Though James Dean was linked to many leading ladies, whisper behind the scenes suggest more complex romances. When asked if he was gay, Dean responded cryptically, "No, but I'm not going through life with one hand tied behind my back either." So what flames fuel these rumors? William Bast, Dean's close friend and roommate, later revealed in interviews that they had a physically intimate relationship. Bast provided explicit details, sharing that he and Dean experimented together sexually. Though Dean never labeled himself as gay or bisexual, Bast ultimately confirmed that their friendship crossed boundaries into erotic exploration. Another biography unearthed Dean's alleged sadomasochistic affair with Marlon Brando. Giant co-star Elizabeth Taylor even claimed Dean confessed experiences of a childhood abuse by a priest after his mother's death. Were these same-sex bonds just Hollywood experiments, career ladder climbs, or true orientation? No one can say for certain. But the provocative question continues to entice speculation decades after his fatal crash. Number 13, Greta Garbo. The iconic actress Greta Garbo had affairs with both men and women during her Hollywood heyday. Though famously private, it's known she took on many lovers over the years, from co-stars like John Gilbert to the mostly gay fashion photographer Cecil Beaton. Garbo didn't kiss and tell, but friends gossiped about her active love life. She briefly dated Orson Welles during World War II, but he broke up with her after seeing her deny an autograph to an injured soldier. Long-rumored sapphic affairs including Tallulah Bankhead, Billie Holiday, and Louise Brooks. Her most enduring relationship was an on-again, off-again friendship with the lesbian poet Mercedes D'Acosta, spanning over 30 years. Though D'Acosta was deeply in love, it's unclear if Garbo reciprocated those feelings. The actress was comfortable with her fluid sexuality and never felt the need to label herself. As she once coyly said when asked about rival Marlene Dietrich, "Who is this Marlene Dietrich?" Garbo lived life strictly on her own terms. Number 12, Cary Grant. Cary Grant's bold charm on screen was matched only by the enigmatic allure of his private life. For over a decade, Grant lived with fellow film star Randolph Scott in their affectionately nicknamed mansion, Bachelor Hall, fueling constant rumors despite Grant's later marriages to women. In a headline-grabbing 1986 interview, Grant himself coyly admitted to Barbara Walters, "Everyone says I'm gay, and I guess I am, but I don't really know." Quite the candid confession for the era. During their 12-year domestic partnership, Grant and Scott posed for fan magazines and walked premieres arm in arm, raising eyebrows across Hollywood. Grant's friend, George Burns, often winked at his pal's orientation through quips and puns. Number 11. Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. The decades-long romance between classic Hollywood stars Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy has long been part of Tinseltown lore. However, a closer examination reveals that both stars likely had more complex sexualities behind the scenes. While Hepburn had a public reputation as an independent and eccentric leading lady, she also engaged in relationships for women for over 50 years. Scotty Bowers, whose recent documentary Scotty and the Secret History of Hollywood exposed the hidden sexual lives of many stars, and claims to have arranged 150 hookups for Hepburn with women during that time. Hepburn also harbored a 40-year love affair with one woman in particular, who eventually left her to marry a wealthy man. This account is supported by late journalist Liz Smith, who confirms Hepburn's lesbian encounters. As for Tracy, he remained married yet estranged from wife Louise Treadwell for decades. Rumors have swirled around Tracy's sexuality. In a 2017 Vanity Fair article, claims surfaced of Tracy carrying on relationships with actor John Derek, as well as other men. Longtime Hollywood insider Richard Gulley matter-of-factly confirmed Tracy's history with male partners. However, these assertions brought swift denials from Hepburn herself as well as Tracy's daughter. So what truths lie behind the image of deep love projected by these two icons, both on screen and off? It seems likely Hepburn and Spencer engaged in other clandestine relationships while also finding support in one another. Number 10. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was the ultimate Hollywood heartthrob, starring alongside Doris Day and Elizabeth Taylor in hugely popular romantic comedies and dramas in the 1950s and 60s. But behind the scenes, Rock was gay, a fact he worked hard to keep secret during his career. Even his 3-year marriage to Phyllis Gates in the 1950s was likely arranged by his agent to maintain his macho public image. The documentary, Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed, has recently uncovered more details about the double life Hudson left, like how his sexuality first aroused suspicion after he took a Rorschach psych test, or his strained relationship with James Dee on the set of Giant, partly because Dean could tell Hudson was hitting on him despite pretending to be straight in public. Hudson did cherish his friendship with Elizabeth Taylor, though. She stood by him until his death from AIDS in 1985, which inspired her AIDS activism. It seems many of Hollywood's bit players knew the truth about Hudson's sexuality, but the American public only saw the tabloid images of him as a womanizing ladies' man. In private, Hudson had a contact to arrange hookups with handsome young men, so while publicly hetero, Hudson actually lived a complex gay life behind the scenes, one he worked hard to keep secret for fear it would ruin his career as a leading man. Number 9. Montgomery Clift. The handsome and talented actor Montgomery Clift captivated movie audiences in the 1950s with his exceptional acting talent and good looks. But unlike many Hollywood stars back then, he kept his personal life very private. Though he was close friends with Elizabeth Taylor and rumors swirled about their relationship, Monty also had relationships with both men and women. His sexuality was something of an open secret in Hollywood circles. According to actress Debbie Reynolds, Monty and Liz were clearly intimate at times, but Monty also had boyfriends along with girlfriends. His brother Brooks confirmed in a taped call that their mother casually mentioned Monty had identified as homosexual at a young age. Monty's co-star Jack Larson said he was very comfortable being gay and had a great sense of humor, unlike his tortured public image. Even in his most famous roles, like in Red River, Monty pushed boundaries with subtly flirtatious scenes. He wasn't as closeted as contemporaries like Rock Hudson. From an early Broadway debut to rejecting major Hollywood film roles, Monty remained his own man, living modestly in New York, avoiding studio contracts, and sticking to a simple, healthy lifestyle. Number 8. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe publicly had relationships with famous men, but a recent biography reveals that she liked girls too. The book, Marilyn Monroe, My Little Secret, by Terry Jarris, shares details about what the icon's sexual encounters with women, including celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor and Joan Crawford. Apparently, Marilyn had flings with dozens of ladies. Her acting coach, Natasha Lattès, confessed she exploited Marilyn's attachment to her. Brigitte Bardot even admitted Marilyn seduced her once. One of Marilyn's longest relationships was with Jane Lawrence, who ran her fan club. Though just 16 years old when they met, Jane said Marilyn brushed up against her thighs and kissed her passionately the first time they were intimate. Marilyn felt tortured by her interest in women, but told Jane, "Love is love." Marilyn was a free spirit who didn't care about social norms or judging sexuality. Tragically, she died just a week after declining Jane's offer to visit her, worried about Marilyn's substance abuse issues. Though she hid her bisexuality when alive, accounts of Marilyn's sexual adventures with women reveal she loved both genders. Number 7. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich was quite open about liking both men and women. Back in the 1920s in Berlin, she frequently went out to the underground gay and drag bars and clubs, which was unusual at the time. Dietrich was married but had agreements with her husband Rudolf Sieber that allowed her to have other affairs. She romanced famous actors such as Gary Cooper and John Gilbert, along with supposedly having a brief fling with Douglas Fairbanks Jr. while he was still married. In Hollywood, Dietrich was part of a secret circle of actresses like Greta Garbo, who were bisexual or lesbian. They privately supported each other in an era that was less accepting. Some of Dietrich's other female companions ranged from the French cabaret singer Edith Piaf to the actor Yul Brynner. Dietrich didn't conceal her sexuality at all. She openly lived as a bisexual woman throughout all her legendary acting career in film. Her openness to romances with both sexes was quite unusual in the early days of Hollywood. Number 6. Clark Gable. One alleged gay tryst was with openly gay actor William Haines, a friend of Joan Crawford's. Another sensitivity flared up during Gone with the Wind, when director George Cukor's friend quipped Gable had experiences with Billy's old tricks. Furious, Gable allegedly refused to work until Cukor was replaced by Victor Fleming. Gable had an unconventional upbringing working as a lumberjack before pursuing acting. His dad called him a sissy boy, stoking a complex. An early marriage to coach Josephine Dillon, possibly unconsummated, preceded an affair with actor Earl Larimore. A close bond also formed with Rod LaRoque on Forbidden Paradise. The hunk broke through in It Happened One Night with the iconic undershirt removal scene, cementing Gable's machismo. Despite befriending writer William Faulkner, biographer David Brett labeled Gable bisexual. While Lombard remained the love of his life, she mocked his manhood. His final film, The Misfits, saw Gable befriend gay co-star Montgomery Clift while coping with Marilyn Monroe's substance abuse. Number 5. Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr was a big television star back in the 1950s and 1960s. Best known for playing sharp-witted lawyer Perry Mason, who never lost a case. But there was more to Burr's personal life behind the scenes. In 1948, he had a short-lived marriage to actress Isabella Ward that ended in divorce. It was on the set of Perry Mason in 1960 that Burr met fellow actor Robert Benavides, who became his lifelong business and romantic partner. Though Burr kept his homosexuality concealed, as it could have damaged his acting career at the time, he and Benavides were committed partners for over 30 years until Burr's death in 1993. They even started their own vineyard together in California's Sonoma County during the 1980s. To avoid uncomfortable questions about his personal life, Burr would make up stories about having multiple wives who tragically died, but the truth was he married only once briefly. He just wanted to keep attention focused on his work. Number 4. Barbara Stanwyck. For decades, rumors swirled about the iconic actress Barbara Stanwyck's sexuality. She earned a loyal LGBTQ following with her gutsy on-screen personas. Though Stanwyck married twice, some think they were lavender marriages, arranged by movie studios. She was close with her assistant Helen Ferguson for years, likely romantically. In the 1920s, Stanwyck taught dance at a lesbian speakeasy and supposedly had an affair with Tallulah Bankhead. She dodged personal questions her whole life. Stanwyck played one of Hollywood's first lesbian characters in 1962's Walk on the Wild Side, though she refused to discuss her own sexuality. Later TV roles made Stanwyck a lesbian icon, but the glamorous star never publicly came out. She passed away in 1990 after a 60-year acting career. Though Stanwyck kept her romantic life very private, many speculated that she was attracted to women. Number 3. Anthony Perkins and Tab Hunter. Anthony Perkins led a complex double life. Though the psycho star was married with children, he allegedly had various affairs with men that he kept private, including a relationship with actor Tab Hunter. Perkins passed away suddenly from AIDS complications in 1992 at the age 60, shocking fans that were unaware of his illness. The book Split Image, The Life of Anthony Perkins, digs deeper into the gay actor's struggles. Like many gay actors then, Perkins had to pretend to be straight to protect his Hollywood career. He'd pose as a ladies' man in magazine photos despite secret relationships with men, including hookups in seedy adult theaters, the book reveals. Perkins performed a constant balancing act to keep his orientation, which could have ruined his fame, hidden. His ambition drove him forward in acting despite the pressures to stay closeted. Perplexingly to some friends, Perkins did marry Barry Berenson in 1973 and became a devoted husband and father to their 2 kids, though pals doubted his faithfulness to her. When he was discovered at age 17, Tab Hunter soon became Hollywood's favorite all-American heartthrob. With his undeniable good looks, female fans adored him. But privately, Hunter felt isolated. As Hunter put it, he felt torn between 2 worlds, the casual homophobia of most normal people on one side and the flagrantly gay Hollywood subculture on the other, where he felt equally uncomfortable and out of place. Well before hitting it big, Hunter had already been arrested in 1950 at a gay party. Years later, when a gossip magazine threatened to expose another major star, Rock Hudson, as gay, Hudson's agent diverted attention by leaking Hunter's old arrest record. Although never considered a great dramatic talent, Hunter's popularity and easy charm made him a reliable box office winner through the early 1960s. But as Hollywood leading men changed, Hunter slowly faded from the A-list scene. In 2005, Hunter finally revealed the whole story of his hidden life in the memoir, Tab Hunter Confidential, including his long-term relationship with actor Anthony Perkins. For decades, Hunter felt he couldn't openly discuss his sexuality, but by 2005, times had changed enough for him to tell his story. Number 2. Cesar Romero. With his tall, dark, and handsome looks, Cesar Romero was a dashing leading man both on and off screen. Though he charmed his way through movies opposite starlets like Carole Lombard, Romero was reportedly living a double life as a closeted gay man. Like others in Hollywood's inner circle back then, Romero was apparently open about his sexuality with industry friends and coworkers on set. But he, along with many LGBTQ+ actors, maintained a heterosexual public facade to keep their careers afloat in less accepting times. Even as the suave and debonair Joker in the original Batman film, Romero kept his orientation private from fans swooning over him. While difficult to hide his true self, Romero found a balance to thrive professionally in the era. He could be his authentic self with his Hollywood circle while pretending for the public eye. Though public knowledge of the LGBTQ+ stars has grown enormously today, Romero navigated the pressures of his time to achieve both personal fulfillment and lasting pop culture fame. Number 1. Ramon Novarro. Ramon Novarro was a Mexican-American actor often viewed as a rival to the handsome star Rudolph Valentino. When Valentino died unexpectedly in 1926, Novarro took his place as Hollywood's next Latin lover heartthrob. For a while, his star shined bright, but in 1935, MGM surprisingly declined to renew his contract, leaving Novarro to struggle finding roles. Novarro wrestled with accepting his homosexuality, given his traditional Catholic upbringing. During his acting career peak, though, he did discreetly have affairs with men, including one journalist named Herbert Howe. However, in 1968, Novarro meant a violent end after 2 brothers named the Fergusons came to his home under false pretenses. They tortured him and murdered him for money, falsely claiming they worked for an escort service. After Novarro's sensational murder made national news, the public spotlight shifted to his sexuality overshadowing the successful acting career. Younger generations may associate Novarro more with his gruesome death than his stand-up performances in classics like 1925's Mata Hari and Ben-Hur. But his contributions to early Hollywood should not be forgotten just because his personal life became a tabloid fodder after his death. Well, there you have it, folks. The top 15 secret LGBT stars that had us all fooled back in Hollywood's golden age. From closeted screen legends like Rock Hudson to power couples like Hepburn and Tracy, Tinseltown sure knew how to keep their stars' private lives hush-hush. I hope you enjoyed this scandalous peek behind the silver screen. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more classic Hollywood content sent your way. And let me know who else you'd like me to cover in my next video. Thanks for watching!
Because I just went gay all of a sudden.